Hey, what's up, fellas?
What's up?
What's good?
All right, episode 130.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
Struggle
Wow.
Podcast. We're having honest and necessary conversations that you might not be having at your local Sunday morning service. I want to host Tech along with
Fred Green.
and
Jay Blunt.
what's going on, fellas?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Not much. Hey, before we get started, man, let's make an announcement. Go check out that latest interview by
Hey,
none
you know
other
what?
than Eric.
Yes.
I should have asked, interviewed Jon Guerra, worship leader. I absolutely love this dude's music. Guerra, I don't know where I got Guerra from, Jon Guerra. I should have asked him about Healer, bro, his perspective on Healer.
Oh, man. Why not? That should be the one question you ask everybody.
I know, definitely every worship leader. But it was a great conversation. If you just uploaded it today, so if you're haven't got the time to watch it, just watch that interview with Jon Guerra. Let me know your thoughts. But all is well, fellas.
Yep, all is good.
Well.
I dropped my tablet today.
Oh, does it have a case?
It does, but it doesn't work well in the case. So I take it out the case to use it, and it was plugged in the charger. When I got up, I pulled the charger with me, and pretty sad about it. I just got it, so
I take it broke.
It didn't break, but it's got a crack. Yeah, it got cracking.
Got a little love.
Like
crack.
when you break something that your wife gives you, and you just got it, it's like. That phone call or that conversation is so hard, bro. It's like it brings you back to your childhood. Like, oh my God, I don't get in trouble.
Yep.
But that's my day so far.
Big shout out to Pastor Jay, just turning the big 4-0.
Whoa!
Hey,
come on, somebody.
Let's go.
Wow.
Jay, you are the first to hit a bunch of milestones. You're the first to be
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I'll be the first. I was the first to do it all. I did it.
Yeah, the first to do it all. Yeah, you was the first to have a daughter. Now you're the first to be 40. How does it feel, Jay? Are you going through do you want like a motorcycle or something? What they say you're supposed to?
No. What is it called? A midlife crisis.
Yeah, I guess this is officially midlife.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did feel different. This is the first time I think it felt different. Okay. I was in a room. I stayed at a hotel, and it had a full-length mirror. And I walked by it. I was like, "Oh my God!" I just had a moment. I just got face to face with myself and looked myself in the eyes, and I said, "You gotta do better."
Oh
man, it was tough, but I did feel different. Nevertheless, I'm super grateful to still be here.
Come on,
and yeah, man, just grateful, very grateful.
All right, so you guys help us wish Pastor Jay a happy birthday. Come on, somebody. Pastor Green, all is well, sir?
All is well.
All right. Well, we got a lot to talk about. Kind of, sort of, maybe. Definitely want to talk about the Gawvi. I kept saying Gawvi situation. Famous, prominent gospel artist. I don't know if he was a rapper. I guess he raps.
Like hip hop, man.
Yeah. He signed to Reach Records, got in trouble for sending pickle pics and doing a lot more. So it's been all over the news. It was on billboards. I mean, it's kind of.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, Gawvi was a pretty well-known, and I think he was like, to me, he seemed like he was at that stage right before he just went out of here. Like, a lot of people loved his music. He had like a cult following. He was pretty preferred, and I think he was working on maybe getting ready to release his latest album. But then,
I think he was going on tour too recently.
Yeah, he's going on tour. But they're gonna pickle picks. Come on. So we're gonna talk about that and just in general, just about men and seems to be a reoccurring thing. But people are really feisty about Gawvi. Like, people are like, either you are not being hard enough on them or you're being too hard on them. It seems to be putting people in kind of extremes. But also want to talk about, I don't know if a lot of people heard this, redeeming love. Come on, somebody. I am someone who has passionately encouraged everyone to really accept that all Christian movies are bad. Horrible, they suck, they stink. But redeeming love has a twist. I'm going to give you, speaking of pickle picks, I'm going to give you some nudity. So, I mean, it's not real nudity, but, I mean, there's a sex scenes in Redeeming Love, which is supposed to be a Christian movie. I'm not sure if it is. It's supposed to be a based on a book, which is the modern day telling of Hosea, where God asked the prophet to marry a prostitute. So at the end of the movie, they get married, and then, they do their redeeming love. Some people are like, hey, man, grow up. Some people are upset. Some people, it's not a big deal. So I guess we can get to that first. Redeeming love. Maybe I should find not a picture of the scene.
No, we don't need a clip.
A picture of the movie. It just came out. It's in theaters. Do you think it's wrong for a Christian movie to have a sex scene? Of course, there was no full-blown nudity in it, but I'm sure the actors were.
They called it hot and steamy. So.
Hot and steamy. But, I mean, Christian's hot and steamy,
It's different from regular.
Yeah.
No, it's not. It's like, go ahead.
I mean, unless, you're right.
Yeah, we just move
Christian's
on
daytime hot and steamy is not that bad. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think it's wrong for redeeming love to have a sex scene in the movie?
All right, that was like, I felt like you guys were just looking right at me. Am I wrong? But you guys were just like, is it wrong?
Yeah, is it wrong?
All right, so I think what question popped in my head when you said, is it wrong? I immediately replaced the word wrong with the word necessary.
Okay.
Is it necessary for a Christian movie to have a sex scene? Absolutely not. I mean, sex scenes have been portrayed without showing nudity for years and years and years. There's a way to do it and get your point across without actually showing it. I would want to know why they felt it was necessary. Why they felt it was necessary, why they felt like they couldn't get their point across without it, or maybe they obviously had a reason for it. But I read through some of the comments from the video that I saw regarding, and they spoke a lot on the pitfalls that they may have set for others as a result of having this scene in it. I mean, I guess I saw some mixed reviews, but personally, I don't think that there's a real reason to have it shown however they have it shown. There's no good reason for it, in my opinion. Especially, I mean, most Christian films are considered family films. Right. You have one that may not be safe to watch with your family, meaning your children. And then the question that one person asked was, did it glorify God? Like, in what way? That's a good question when it's a particularly a Christian film. What's the premise for it?
Glorify God? Like,
of course it does.
Okay, go ahead.
You never been like, oh, thank you, thank you, Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah, definitely. So anyway, but no, it's. I mean, when you do something like that, it has to be purposeful, right?
Right.
Especially when it's under the banner, and then you're selling it as a Christian film. It would be different if it was like based on it, but those are just some things that were brought up. That's my take on it, and I don't know.
All right. Before we get to Fred Green, Nancy says, yes, I think it's wrong. And do you think that this speaks to the death or the lack of their personal relationship with God? So maybe they not say Ruslan did bring up an interesting point. He mentioned that there could be this idea of I don't know if the proper word is Christian appropriation. Like if someone who is not really a Christian makes this movie, they can market it to Christians because it has this. The book is supposed to be about something out the Bible, but it really has nothing, nothing to do with God. It's just like a more of a marketing thing.
Got you. One of the greatest movies, by the way, was about Christ. Was made by Mel Gibson. Still the best Christian
Passion of Christ
/ movie about Christ ever.
He's supposed to be working on another one, but that could just be internet rumors.
Oh, well.
Good.
Pastor Green, what do you think?
I think I thought about the same thing Jason thought about as far as the necessity of the scene. I think I haven't read the book. I think that is important for me because I when I first heard it, I was thinking, okay, from Hosea, but then but it's based off a book, not the actual. So in a sense, it's I don't know what I like loosely based, but anyway, I think you could communicate that because if I'm going to the biblical story about that, like really the crux of it is infidelity or adultery in the context of marriage. So I think you could illustrate that without having a sex scene, because that's the heart of. I mean, again, that's why I don't know. That's why I'm bringing up the book part because I don't know what the book was about. But if we're going, about the going back to the biblical story, one of the biggest one of the biggest emphasis was about the adultery, the infidelity with Gomer with Hosea. So I think you could communicate that without having a sex scene. It's just more about what was the build up the context of their the marriage, having children, and then that person stepping out. So I think in that context, like you don't really need it.
Now you bring makes me think of an interesting point. DHW, come on, shout out to what's the shoe place?
Don't do it.
DSW. Okay. Maybe God allowed it to happen in order to show us that just because something is labeled Christian doesn't mean it truly is Christian or for him. Come on, somebody. I think now, is there ever an instance where a more explicit sexual thing will be acceptable within a Christian movie? So like not a lot of people gave, some people had criticism for Passion of Christ because it was so bloody, but it's hard to show something like that without, I mean, that it was impactful.
Yeah.
I think about if you're doing something about the prophet Ezekiel, which is extremely explicit. Do you water, like how do you water that down?
No, I think you have to have an end in mind, obviously, and then you decide how do you get to the path. What's the best way to get to the end? I just I don't. The first question you had, I believe you asked was, is there a reason or a reason why we would go that way? Is that what you asked?
I can't remember. I'll just be talking. Go ahead. Let's go with that.
I don't see it. I don't see that there would be a reason that we would.
If you were doing
go.
Ezekiel,
it don't matter.
No, you have to.
All of Ezekiel and I could pick parts of it.
I mean, but if you're having,
can you give me an example of the specific about what you talk about in Ezekiel?
It talks about. I mean, no, I'm not getting in trouble.
No. What I'm saying is,
bad.
He's not getting me in trouble, Fred.
Okay. I think we mentioned it before, but yeah.
Yeah. Go read your Bible, Fred. Ezekiel. It's like, no, I do think the difference here is maybe the verses, which would be different with something like Ezekiel. It's here, I think one of the videos the ladies did make a good point. It does add to this false kind of like you got the music going, you got the perfect lighting, and it just makes it goes on to creating a false expectation around sex. That could trigger somebody to lust versus something in Ezekiel. I think you would maybe really be showing the depravity of something. So I don't think that would be depicted in a way that would be lustful. But I mean,
I think
the Bible's pretty explicit.
The Bible is explicit.
Yeah, I think it's probably a ploy to get people to watch it. I mean, some more people will likely watch it just because of conversations like this than not watch it at all, which speaks to people's issues about it. You know, people want to see, well, how bad is it? You know, and they're going to go find out and they're going to do it. So if this is a marketing ploy, or you know, the whole thing is
that's true.
Guided around trying to be. What's the word? Not daring or crossing the line just enough to, you know, like, is it enough not to close your eyes, not to turn away, not to do that? Yeah. No, this brings me another question, or a question, because I believe this is mentioned too, as a not just as Christian. All right, so you have one as adults, and then you have two as Christians. If you're watching a film with a particular scene in it, do you fast forward? Is that what you do?
Yes.
Typically.
Yeah, I fast forward.
Chad couldn't even say it without laughing. She couldn't even say it without laughing. He was like, go ahead.
I'm trying to think if I watch it. Like I was watching what's the game? The Hunger Games. Not Hunger Games.
Game of Thrones?
No, the Korean one. What's the Korean one? The bad one.
Oh,
the music. Ding, ding,
Squid Game.
Yeah, Squid Game.
Yeah, that was good.
They was doing it in the bathroom. I don't think I fast forward past that part. I mean,
I did. Sorry.
Dang. I mean, it was just they were doing it in the bathroom. I wasn't like, I guess. But no, I think you're right.
She played herself, though.
I probably should.
Yeah. So now you guys know.
Speak to my lack of my desensitization. What's that word?
You're desensitized.
Right. Yeah.
And I do agree with that. You know, going back to Jason's question, I think I think all of us, I put myself in this category for the get guilty to be desensitized, not only when it comes to certain things. I know we talk about the sexual nature, but even from a violence level.
Man, I know you don't fast forward past no violence, Fred.
I don't, but that's the thing. That's bad. Like it's
shame
not,
on you.
Like, cause like you said, I could be self-righteous and say, okay, I fast forward through every sexual scene, but no, I do not fast forward. Like I actually, like, cause I'm like that part of the story. Like I gotta see like why he died. But
shame on you.
But no. So I guess if we gonna, I guess, but. Anyway,
so Fred, what did you think about the end of the movie when you saw it?
What movie?
Redeeming Love. When you watched the sex.
I didn't see. I know about the movie till y'all put it.
But I mean, we should probably fast forward past a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad because am I going fast forward? I'm probably going to fast forward through sex scenes. I don't watch a lot of stuff with sex scenes in it, but like. I was watching Karate Kid. Now I feel bad. I'm going through my whole life.
Yeah, now it's coming back through.
It's like
now you suddenly remember every scene.
Somebody else said they do that. They fast forward. I don't even be. I'm like, dang, you know what? I'm into it. But yeah, I think maybe we probably have. I know I have gotten desensitized. DHW says, I do fast forward and look away. Now, there was a time I didn't, though, if I'm honest. See, Jason, I know Jason don't. I'm not going to be the only one out here sinning. I'm not going to be the only one out here sinning. All right?
Well, let me ask y'all.
I'll be fast forwarding through them joints.
Yeah, me too.
Let me ask y'all one more question. Is it the fact that when it's in the category of because it's a Christian movie? Because like, if I'm being honest, like I do feel a certain type of way, like say, hey, they shouldn't have that scene in there. Is it needful? But then there are shows that I watch that like have scenes like that in it. But I just fast forward through it, but I would still watch the show. But
Yeah,
is it because is it because that it has been put in the category this is a Christian thing?
Yes.
Because okay.
Yeah, especially if it's in theaters. If they release it in the theater, like I remember being in the theater, I don't know what I was watching. I went to go see Malcolm X with my dad, and I think there was a scene in it, and he was like, "Ugh, cover your eyes," you know. He didn't know. It was about Malcolm X.
Took you to see Malcolm X?
Oh yeah, I saw.
I'm judging everybody.
That's our thing. Malcolm X was a great film. It was long, but it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think we. I mean, no, it's an interesting conversation. Definitely got me thinking. I think I myself has definitely got desensitized to certain things. Honestly, because a lot of the things that we see now on regular TV used to be seen as pornographic.
That is
for
but
sure.
now it's just like
very true.
I remember I Love Lucy. They didn't even sleep in the same beds. They had 2 different beds that they slept in, and they were married.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely words and actions.
Words and actions. And the violence, going back to the violence stuff.
Oh yeah, the violence.
Yeah, violence too. Yeah, for sure.
No, like Fred is real big on violence. And,
I don't fast forward to anything like that.
We talked about this before, but I used to walk out of movies, bro.
Yeah.
When they would be.
I think I remember. Did you walk out of Batman or something?
No, we walked out of Superbad.
Yeah, me and Tech with the ghost.
All right, Superbad
why did
was
we go
bad,
see
though.
Superbad?
I don't know why
we walked out of.
No, it was Superbad. We walked out of Superbad.
No, it was the movie with the guns.
Oh, John Wick.
No.
Wanted. Angelina Jolie.
Wanted.
Yeah, it was Wanted. We walked out of Wanted.
Was that Was that
Oh, Tech, it was super bad. I remember.
I think we walked out of both.
I don't remember the.
Did y'all get your money back at least?
No, we just walked out.
No, we took that L because I felt like it was deserved. Like, you know what? Nah, this is what you get. We went to go see a movie called Superbad.
Yeah, and then I walked out of Stepdad.
I'm surprised because you love that movie.
Stepbrother.
You love that movie now.
I didn't love that. I don't
you
love
quote
that movie.
You quoted that movie.
Step Brothers. Now, I did see it later.
Okay, go ahead.
Later.
Exactly. You know, you just saw it in your head.
Not a judgment-free zone. All right. I feel attacked.
No, I'm just saying because I remember explicitly you mentioning a scene from Step Brothers.
Oh yeah, that's the scene I walked out on. But then later, I was cracking up at it. I need to go pray. My biggest struggle is lust. It's worth. No, lust is a huge struggle, and then it's everywhere. So it's like even if you're trying to not watch certain things, it's always there.
Next time you read a comment, you should say somebody said. Not just read it because it sounds like, you know.
Oh yeah, that is right. Matt, thank you. Is saying, is it ever okay for Christians to watch horror movies? What's funny is that I think we had this conversation. This is where I draw the line. I'll be watching them people do it in the bathroom. I'm watching them blow. If you just joined the podcast,
that is like
you gotta go back and make it make sense.
And finish your statement too.
Well, I'm just saying, it's certain things in movies I just watch and don't comprehend, and violence. But I don't mess with horror, and I think a lot of Christians draw the line at horror. We'd be like, "Nah, that's demonic."
Because it's the most obvious thing that you can point to.
Yeah.
I already said it before. Like my thing I don't really mess with horror either. I can do monsters, but anything with seances. Demons, what's the other thing? Possession, demonic possession, anything like that.
I don't do demonic possession of kids.
Little
kids that goddamn freak me out. Little kids and puppets. If it's like I was watching the Steve Urkel episode. Remember where that joint still freaks me out. What was his name? Steve-O? The little
yeah, I remember that episode.
Yeah, that was a
Steve-O?
good episode.
I can't do Steve-O. It's demonic. I start speaking in tongues. I'll be like, in the name of Jesus. I can't do Steve-O.
What happened to you, Tech?
Nah, bro. Little kids and Muppets and puppets. I'm out of here.
Muppets and puppets. Kermit the Frog.
I was ever in a room where a devil went into a little Muppet baby, I'd be like, somebody else got to handle this devil. I'm out. All right.
Yeah. So wait. Real quick. You put it up before you.
I didn't even read it.
Exactly. I told you about that. I told you about that last week. Read, then post it. Now listen. Let me ask you a quick question. Do you generally have a fear of puppets though?
Heck yeah, puppets with devils in them.
No, I mean, because I don't know.
Maybe just about those little feet that just freak me out. I can't do it, bro. Those little hands and those little feet coming for you. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
that's the ultimate thing, bro. If a devil ever went to a little puppet, that's what, like Chucky.
Yeah,
was the worst movie. I never seen. I maybe seen one Chucky movie. I like no,
Chucky was dumb. It wasn't.
No,
Chucky was not scary.
That was dumb. The new ones I like one. That other junk.
They were all. I mean, come on, it's a puppet.
I can't do it.
But anyway, yeah. Right. So that's our answer, Matt. We don't do horror too much. Don't do horror at all.
I mean, I think Christians, we should watch more of what we see. You know, all that eye-gate thing. But yeah. Yeah, and no puppets. Okay. Okay. I need to get myself together and think about those little puppets. All right, I think that this is a maybe. So I guess Redeeming Love, we're coming to the consensus. Maybe you should not have, if you're a Christian movie, you should not have it. Because also, I guess those people weren't married. You know what I mean? And they weren't really
married in real
sex.
life.
Yeah, they weren't married in real life, and they were simulating sex. I mean,
yeah. Oh, yeah. One thing the guy said, or someone said, is that what's allowed in Christian marriage, or something. I'm like about to butcher his statement, but he was like, although things are allowed in Christian marriage, they are not to be viewed or observed. So things that are allowed to be practiced are not necessarily allowed to be observed by others. That's true. I think that's where he was drawing the line there. So
come on, somebody.
I thought that was a good point he made. Hopefully you guys got it. Happy belated to Jay Mills.
Hey,
on IG.
Hey,
oh my God, what's up, bro? Happy
Jordan,
birthday.
Happy belated.
Nah, that's true. Don't observe. Now you got me. You made me forget. Oh, okay. So whatever. Don't put freaking nude scenes in your Christian movies, Fred Green. You need to throw away your Redeeming Love DVD, Fred. All right, but I guess this moves on. I mean, we've been talking about kind of lust and Christians lusting. And so I want to talk about the Gawvi situation. Okay. Try not to say Garvey, but Gawvi. Come on, somebody. Come on, Marriage Bed. It's undefiled. Speaking of Marriage Bed, all right, so Gospelwater's Gawvi got in trouble. I mean, I'm oversimplifying it because I don't got time to go there. I mean, I feel like most people know. But Gospelwater's Gawvi, he announced he was getting divorced. After he announced he was getting divorced, it came out that he had been sending pickle pics to several women and that he was cheating on his wife and different things like that. And so it became big news. The Reach Records came out. They dropped them from the label. Some people were upset at Reach Records. They feel like, man, you guys should have known by now. So I'm not so much want to talk about the Gawvi situation, but I did want to talk about, like, I mean, and I know it's happening all around. But like, so there's, I guess, what it's an oversimplification, or it's an oversimplifying it to ask, why do men cheat, right? Mm-hmm. Why are men unfaithful? But it does seem to be a problem that we have to address in the church. I mean, you got Robbie Zacharias out here doing this thing and going to the. And not only is he going to the massage parlors, he invested in it like it's Bitcoin or something. He like, man, somebody said you go somewhere so much you should get stock. Well, Robbie took that to heart and was like, why become a member when I can become an owner? And so he was out here at the massage parlor. What's your man? Carl Lentz was at the playground, meeting people. And I think I forgot the other pastor named Jeremy. He has a large church. He recently just got in trouble. Had to step down for cheating on his wife. It seems to be a big deal. And I don't know. I don't think it's just to men or men in power, but I mean, us being men, I think that it is a conversation that more men need to have with each other. I feel like this conversation has sparked two extremes, which we may get either way. Even some people are like, leave him alone. We all fall short. We love you, Gawvi. Text me later. And then some people are like, oh, you're not going hard enough. Start making excuses for him. And so it's like, I do think we have to come to a point to understand, Jermaine Dupri was out here cheating on Janet Jackson. Arnold Schwarzenegger was cheating on his wife with the maid. I mean, it sounds dark and oversimple to ask why there's been cheat, but I guess we just did a video talking about contentment, us having an issue with contentment, which I do think is one issue. But I guess my general question, just starting the conversation off, what do you guys think would be some of the other issues that you think we keep running into these situations in a variety of ways? And these are the people that got caught.
Yeah.
I mean, it's way more people who are doing it and just not getting caught than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just ain't got, Robbie Zacharias did it for years. I mean, he didn't get caught till after he had passed.
Yeah.
So it's like, they out here. But I guess, what is you guys' perspective on why we keep landing here? Fellas.
I think one place, we talk about men in general. We talk about, I guess it doesn't matter though. Christian men, either. I think one reason, and we talk about this a lot on the podcast. So it's two things I'm gonna say: accountability, having accountability, having people that is not just like who you deeply involved with, like your lives are intertwined to the point to where there's an openness, there's a transparency with it. I think a lot of since we're speaking about men and women, a lot of men don't have that another male to be transparent to. And I think there's a difference between having a male that you could chill with or having a male that you could, hang out with versus having a type of relationship that you could be transparent with.
Right.
Have those type of friends and that type of circle. So I think the lack of accountability, and then also I think the lack of transparency of trying to adopt a lifestyle of living your life in the open. And what I mean by that is to be aware of that constantly, like, practice, like, hey, this is what you see is what you get. Type of and I know that's very hard. That goes back to the transparency thing, but I think we so used to putting up one face and having a whole different thing, and it becomes a part of our life to have a closet. It becomes the thing to do. And I think when you get comfortable with having a portion of your life that's always in the dark, I think we fall into that trap too. Ultimately, anything that's done in the dark will come to light, but I think we get so comfortable with just like, I present this, but over here I have that. So I think there's a lot of things, but those are the two I would start off with: accountability and transparency.
Okay. Jada asked a great question. She says, would you guys consider watching pornography to be cheating in marriage? I've seen a debate about this with men. I mean, to a good degree, and I think Jesus would. So I guess that would be considered. I think I think some men engage in pornography to what's the word I'm looking for? Not cheat. I feel like that's an oversimplification, but you know what I mean? Which I think is still cheating and wrong and fault, but I think it becomes a false outlet, I should say. We use pornography as a false outlet. But I wonder, what is it? So even like with accountability, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys think about, I guess about that, because I don't want to act like I answered it.
Let me ask. I want to respond to the first question. We'll get back to the second. But the first part where Fred mentioned accountability, I just want to say like accountability is something that we often talk about, but I know personally that accountability has to start with the person who needs accountability. It has to start with you, because oftentimes when you're struggling with an issue, whatever that issue is, you got to be honest with yourself enough to bring it up to somebody. Whether you have people around, like you could have 100 people around you who you can trust, who you can talk to. But if you're not willing to be honest, a lot of times by the time a person brings, like we don't often bring up an issue to someone as soon as we're having that issue. It's after we haven't we've kind of lost our grips on the issue ourselves, and then we're bringing it up. Oh, I need help. Oh, I need this. I feel like a lot of times accountability comes into place after issue is brought up. But the person who needs the accountability partners, I think we all do. We got to be honest with ourselves early. To prevent it. I feel like accountability is often it's not preventative maintenance. It's what's happening after something has occurred already.
Yeah.
That's great.
All right, so that's one. All right, so the other part you said, well, the question where I believe was like, why do we think men do what they do, or why do men cheat? Is I believe that they often lose sight of the value and worth that they have in the other person already. Like if something presents itself, another opportunity, another situation presents itself, you have to leave one place or devalue that thing or those people or that person to go and do the thing, or try to make it okay to do, or hide it. So my opinion is that you have to really uphold the value and worth that your wife and spouse has in your life, and keep that in the forefront. Most of us haven't like I keep in mind how long it took me to win my wife over and to trick her into marrying me. Like I know all of the work I put in. I know all of that, and the fact that all of that could be thrown away.
Wow.
On like it's like the scales don't match. I don't care what anybody else looks like. I don't care. I'm talking about even before marriage. Like I have the marriage part, but then the before the marriage part where you work that's all time, money, investment. Like I work for her love. And there's no way I'm throwing that away, all of this away. And I vowed to God, like, I mean, yes, I don't want to put that secondly. You made the vow to God, of course, when you married, that covenant that you honor her. But I just worked too hard. I'm not throwing that away. I'm not throwing that away. And sorry. Secondly, I would say yes, because I mean, you have the question about pornography and marriage. I would consider that a form of cheating. Of course, it's not physical, but you have the lust of the eyes and the lust of the flesh. And I know that internally, it definitely does something to you internally, whether it's happening. And personally, I don't care if it's Um, like there are marriages where they say it's okay and it's
Right.
okay for them, but I personally know like your brain changes.
Yeah.
Something happens to your mental
Definitely freaks out.
Yeah.
because it's a fantasy world, and then those those videos are crazy. It's like anything could happen,
Right,
and
yeah.
then you're in the like I thought it was. I'm gonna give you an example. There was a
Don't
guy.
are you going to give us an
No,
example?
no. I'm gonna give you an example. There was this guy, and this is how unrealistic it is, right? There was a guy, and he was visiting Ellen, right, the famous Ellen, and he
Uh,
visited her at her house, and they were doing something, and then her wife left, and it was just them two in the room, and in his mind he was like, oh. I guess this is where it goes down.
yeah.
Like he had
Yeah.
convinced in his mind, like this
Yeah.
is it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like things happen. Like it's more than just watching. Like things are occurring mentally, and it's not a good idea in my opinion. Stray away, far away, and talk to your spouse too if you're struggling. If you if you can talk to your
Yeah, and I
spouse.
think that goes back to the accountability thing as well. I wonder, and this is not an excuse because I just feel like it's just such a touchy subject. I do think though a lot of men are broken, and
Mm,
as a man, and again, I mean, people may have a different opinion. This is why we're having the conversation. I do think as men, typically everyone has someone who is to protect them outside, except for men, if that makes sense. And again, not using this as an excuse, just trying to
when you say
just
protect
thinking.
them, what do you mean by
So like,
protect them?
as a man, you have to protect your kids, right? Your kids have protection from their parents. I mean, by their parents. Your wife has protection from
you.
protection from you. The husband, you're the protector. I mean, like you're the one who's supposed to be there to kind of be the whatever. And I think whether that is designed by God or culturally, I think men are broken. And because we have this thing where we got to keep going, we don't deal with the brokenness. We just keep going. And then I think when success mixes with brokenness, it becomes a bad combination because you have more access to wrongly, I mean? You have more access to wrongly medicate that brokenness. It's like there's probably a bunch of celebrities who are addicted to drugs who have addictive personalities but would not be addicted had they not had access to heroin or whatever
Sure.
because of being a celebrity or whatever. So I think when you're a man and you are broken, right, and you don't deal with that brokenness, and you don't deal with why you're brokenness, and like for say we're not the greatest at being vulnerable. That doesn't get healed. And then
Yeah.
if you also get success with that, it's people who will make you feel like that they don't care that you're broken, meaning that they know that you're married and they don't care.
Yeah.
And
Let me mention that
yeah,
real quick on that note. The Gawvi situation
uh,
is that I read the article that you sent over, and I the one thing that stood out to me is that one of the people who I think she was a victim. She said everybody knew it.
That was shocking to me too.
Like when a person says everybody knew, so that was one thing. So one of two things, in my opinion,
yeah, that's
is
it.
that she said that everybody knew it. So this wasn't a new thing, or it was a commonly or a known thing amongst their group. The second thing is that Reach Records, who was signed to, said that they had been looking at the incident for over a year,
Right.
and they were just waiting for or seeing what other things come about. So when you say everybody knew it, and then you have people who have a responsibility to their name or whatever, like that's on like if everybody knew it and you've been looking for it over a year, and now you're taking action of any kind. Any kind of action, not to try to get you in counseling, not to try to do like the first action you take over a year is to let your guy go. Is the problem I have as Christians. I think we got to do better at not jumping to cancel each other. You know, so that sticks out to me. So if everybody knew it, everybody got a responsibility, and I think if everybody knows and no one says too much about it, like who are like if I know something's going on with you and we're friends, I gotta say something. At least that when a day goes by, I could be like, I tried.
Now we're transitioning to a pretty interesting conversation.
All right, let's go.
Because I think one, I know gospel artists who out here singing, sending pickle picks. I don't know them personally. I just know like I guess people probably told or knew that Gawvi was out here. Somebody was probably like, hey, you know. So I mean, I don't know. Should I just be like, hey, such and such is pickle picking? I think maybe there's
no. I'm talking about your close your group.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think maybe that begins to feel like whose responsibility is it? And
well,
I have
that's
to
a good
figure out
question.
how
So let me ask you this: if I was out doing things against my marriage and my wife, do you say, well, oh well? I know it's not. I already know the answer to that, but I just like
we're gonna have a podcast about it.
Nah, before the podcast, I'm saying like.
I mean,
you're not gonna say nothing. You're not gonna say anything.
Of course, but let's say you say something, right?
Of course.
And you're like, I mean, I don't know what his response was.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I agree. The people closest to you need to say something.
Yeah.
And I wonder why they didn't, or maybe they did, or what is the response? Okay, let's say if you were doing something and I said something to you. I think it's easy on the outside, and I don't know, and I'm not saying this is right.
Yeah.
What do I do? Do I make it my mission to cancel you? Like I'm saying, with me and your relationship now, right? Let's say I came to you and I'm like, Jason, you need to stop.
Meet me outside.
Huh? You said meet me outside?
Yeah, that's my response.
I thought you would say that. All right, but,
go ahead.
And you were like, I don't know. Let's say you did not receive that, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'm being honest.
Like, where do you go from there?
Yeah, I mean, in not in a Bible study way. I mean, me and you have a real relationship. I'm not gonna make it my mission to cancel you. I'm not gonna be like, hey, no one talk to Jason again. Now, I do have an obligation. What that obligation is, I'm not clear on, and I think it's easier from the outside to be clear on what somebody else should do.
For me, I think maybe not counseling me, but attempting as you're able to cancel the behaviors, because to what degree you're able to to reach out, to do what you can as a friend. That's it. That's your responsibility, is to be a friend. And whatever that is, or whatever that does, it is what it is. But when you got a bunch of people saying, everybody, I'm not talking about one, but when you got your circle saying, hey, bro, this is going on. And then you have your work reaching out saying, hey, your job's on the line. Your name's on the line. Everything you work for is on the line.
Right. Yeah.
That's a boardroom meeting. That's a let's talk, because not only is it your money on the line, it's my money on the line too. Now it's business. So that's the thing, when you're a Christian, like your personal life can affect your business life. So
yeah, I mean,
all of that should have transpired, in my opinion. It said over a year.
Yeah, I mean, the Reach Records thing is something different for me, because I don't know how you work with that, or what were you doing for a year? You know what I mean? What were you?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess from what I've seen from their perspective, which I don't know is true, is they maybe knew about the divorce, but did not know about
the circumstances
the
surrounding
circumstances around it. I don't know how that could be true or So I think Reach Records would be a different conversation. I do think though, when you and it deserves a conversation, which is why we're talking about it. I do think there's not again, which is my issue with church. I know it's a random transition. We spend so much time talking about everything else, but not the things that matter, like this. Like, how do you bring someone close to you to correction, right?
Yeah.
I've been trying to get Jason to record this video for months. Okay, I mean, am I going to stand outside your house? And I mean, if somebody says no,
right?
Yeah.
Just keep letting me know you're there, bro. That matter. It means a lot to me when you tell me you care and that you're available when I'm ready. That means a lot. Let me let you know that now. Thank you so much for being there for me, Eric.
Okay, but
yeah.
No, I'm saying if this was something nasty, right?
Yeah.
And you were just adamant, and
right.
it was the same adamant no.
Right.
What am I going? What am I? It's like the parents whose daughter is gay, right? And they're like, "Oh, you can't be gay," and then they kick him out of the house. Okay, now she's just with her gay friends. Like, I mean, is breaking the relationship really the answer? And
of course not. I don't think it should be. I don't think breaking the relationship is the answer. And that's what I was saying. I don't think they should cancel the person. I think they should work towards canceling the behaviors. And again, if the relationship is important, I think that maybe those behaviors are a threat to the other relationships as well. Like, if you thought that was a part of my character, then that would be a problem for our relationship, because you wouldn't want to be associated with me, or if I just was outright but I don't care, I'm going to do it anyway.
Right. I mean, no, that's a good point.
All right, what do you say? You got this, RT?
I'm trying to read. Seed. Redraw. Says the church is accountable for holding the church accountable. And I agree. I think
we messed that up. But
I did, my bad. I'm sorry. I think I think we've done a bad job in the church as far as laying out a path and what holding each other accountable looks like. I think everybody could do it for somebody else other than them. Like, everybody has an opinion or a thought on it.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, sorry.
Thank you for clearing that up.
But you know what I mean? I feel like it's always easier to be like what somebody else should have did. I mean, some people know they did. Because then what does it stop? Right? So let's say it's not cheating. I mean, we know of sin in different areas.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying it as an excuse. I'm just saying we need to have conversation about what's the best way how do we do these things. They need to be done, and we talk about they need to be done, but you bring up a fair point. If I don't know if I could be friends with Gawvi, but if I knew somebody, let's say I knew you, and then I know your character, I knew you for years, but then you had a behavior that was so out of character, or what I thought was out of character.
You would distance yourself, I'm sure. I don't even know when this became a thing. I can't remember this being a thing.
What's that?
What you mean?
Just sending unsolicited pictures to people. I didn't remember this ever being a thing, man.
I think from the internet.
It had to have worked at some point for people to just continue to do it. I don't understand it.
I don't think they care if it works or not.
I mean, it's gotta work for something. Otherwise, people just got a mailbox full of you.
Well, I would add this little small nugget, and I'm about to be the spiritual, but I think
you about to what?
I'm about no, like it's gonna sound super spiritual, but I think it's true in this context. I think, and I'm guilty of this as well. is that I think a lot of times when we talk about accountability and everything, I don't know if there are some practical things that we could do as far as like checking in on our brothers. You know, which ways that we could facilitate help. Like, hey, hey man, I got this number. Yeah, those are those things. But I know for me, being unselfish in my prayer time, like labor in prayer
Right.
for that person. Like when we have the issue or we see the issue, of just like really seriously praying and not just like in the moment I heard it, let me pray for you, and then we moving on and
Why
we
do I
don't come
feel a
back
certain type
around.
of way about that?
I
Like, I don't know.
I don't
That's
know.
not my problem.
that's
But what you
like, you
mean?
gotta figure out. I feel like, and maybe you're not saying this,
Okay.
right? But the way it hits me is, all right, let's say someone's cheating on the wife, they're beating their wife. It's like, I'm gonna pray
Oh,
for you.
nah.
I
No,
mean,
no, no. Yeah, okay, but yeah, you characterize. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
all right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no. What I'm saying is along. I'm just saying. I'll use myself as an example. Is that I'm more so lean to the practical areas like that, and like you said, there may be somebody who is still adamant, just saying like you tell them straight up, and they tell you straight up no. I think then usually my reaction is just like, man, I wish they would listen and then just stop. But
Yeah.
along with that, just making sure that along with that, I'm also praying. So I'm saying everything you talking about, like we talked about before, from a practical level, like what physically things that we could do. But I'm just speaking for myself. A lot of times that is like to the extent that I am extending to, that there is not added along with that as I'm doing those things, as I'm calling it out or calling what it is, or facilitating help, facilitating phone numbers or whatever. That other step along with that is prayer. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. The
Yeah, I
addition.
agree. I mean, and this could be my dark, cynical side. But like, I mean, yeah, I think prayer is the thing that gets mentioned and not done. To your point, definitely doesn't get done as much as it is mentioned.
Mm.
But like, I mean, I feel like Reach Records is going to be like, yeah, we were praying about it for a year. Like, I mean, at some point, what do you like? I guess I don't know. I guess, but I mean, it. Yeah, I don't know. What do you do? Like, this Bama's out here is married, sending pickle pics to people, using the concert to meet different people.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know if we know a way to resolve it. I think, or yeah, I think this is just the news, and it'll be somebody else that just gets caught,
Mm.
and I don't know how we stop it.
Mm.
I mean, maybe that's dark, wrong, and cynical, but like,
Yeah, it's their personal issue, man. I think they got to be honest with themselves. Like we said before, the accountability can't happen until they're honest with themselves. It's not like you don't know right and wrong at
right,
that point. You know what you're doing is obviously wrong. It's wrong on
Mm.
many levels. So wrong, you got to do it in the dark. You got to hide it.
Mm.
You can't be like, when you do wrong, the first thing you want to do is hide it.
mm-hmm.
Don't
Yep.
necessarily want to stop it,
Oh,
but you want to hide it.
Right.
exactly.
You know, especially if you get a response from it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And I think that oftentimes when you um see when you do wrong, there's grace, thanks be to God, for us to kind of straighten up. But when a kid does wrong, I don't say a kid, but and they get reprimanded immediately, or they're immediately affected by the thing they did, like if they touch
Right.
a hot stove
Right.
and
Yeah.
they immediately get a response from that action, they're
Mm.
less likely to ever touch the stove again
Oh, good.
until they learn a safe way to handle it.
Yeah.
I
Mm.
think that that's why I'm like on the fence about like how people respond, because I think particularly if a person
Hmm.
has a bad behavior, has does something bad, and then they're immediately reprimanded
Yep.
for it and
Mhm.
exposed to the right
Yeah.
individual for the behavior,
Right.
they might be less likely to repeat that behavior. You know,
Mhm.
so I'm just thinking like this is not new. This has probably been going on like most people and most things that when we hear about it, we hearing about it after it's transpired over and over again.
Yeah.
But I think that, I want to say like to the ladies who are getting pictures, but like report that joint.
Right. Yeah.
Like, and it's not to hurt that person per
Right.
se, but if they're in a marriage,
It might
like
help
all of the
them.
men that we've talked about,
Yeah, it might help.
if they have a good marriage, then prayerfully they can get through it, and they can learn from it and move forward. But
That's good.
and figure out what's broken. But I don't think we can we should be afraid to say it, because chastisement is for those that are loved.
Do you think, like some people say, and I don't know the right way to word this, but like just even concerning the pickle picks, there's this power dynamic in play where men feel like because it's kind of audacious.
It is.
And kind of wild to be like, here's my penis. That's like, wow, that's bold. But I wonder, is it a part of a societal like kind of ego where a man can just do what the freak it want? You can just freaking pull your pants down, take a picture, send it to somebody.
Of course. I mean, I think so, but again, it doesn't make sense to me in my brain without some type of response. There has to be because otherwise it's just weird.
Yeah, but
like
I
just
feel like
to
men
do it
do a
is
bunch of
mad
weird stuff.
Yeah, that's true too. I got nothing nowhere for you. I got nothing for you. People are weird. It's just weird, yo. I just want to apologize for any ladies who just looked in their inbox and just that's just sad.
Because
I'm
I
sorry
think it
that
happens a
to you.
lot. Like I've heard actresses and like people say all the time that they get that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't think, and this, whatever. I don't think men. I mean, sure you could say vice versa. I don't think men really know what it's like. I know I don't know what it's like to be a woman. You know what I mean?
Of course not. Of course not.
I don't think we know how much we don't know what it's like. And you know what I mean? Like Dave Chappelle. I can't. I'm not even gonna do it justice, but he had this joke about how when everybody found out they had the $50 million, whenever somebody would talk to him, he would always look like, you're just trying to talk to me because of money, and he felt like everybody was trying to always look at him.
They wanted something.
Yeah, so they could take his money. He was like, he's making a joke, like he finally feel like what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah, but there's a picture. I just like my y'all know my brain work weird. I could just imagine someone like sending it on the random and just be like waiting for a response like did it work or like I just like it's just so weird. Like when you press that send button and like nothing comes back, it's like it just makes.
I think it's because men are visual. Those guys they would love it if somebody's boob randomly popped up in their DM.
But that's not what's happening. That's what I'm saying. It's like a one-way mail.
But I think that's the point, though. I think when it comes to like we touched on pornography. We talked about like the like sexual sin like that. Like in my opinion, I don't think the thought is going that far as that deep that we taking it. It's just like they feel a way and they act upon it. I don't think it's like you said like I know we're trying to compute like what sense like what you I don't think that is for most. I don't think that is that deep. Usually, like when it comes to lust or that feel like you're reacting on impulses and you find yourself in positions that you never like. It's almost like in a sense you're out of your mind in a sense. And I hate to use that like in that phrase, but but to a certain extent, it's just like you're just reacting on like how you're feeling, like an impulse, and it doesn't make logical sense. Like in my personal opinion, I don't know if when people who are sending those pictures, it's like I don't even know if they thinking that far. Like, I mean, obviously they think like, hopefully I get some type of return from this. But I think most of it is whether they think they're gonna get a return or not. I think they would still do it.
Now, I wondered to that point, like, and again, I don't want to get us riled up. We're wrapping it up here, but you guys yelled at me for this, okay? A year ago, I feel like men to help learn now. We have this predatory behavior sometimes, and I wonder if it is because we have not learned, definitely if you don't have a sister, how to view a woman as your sister. What does that mean to view her like a sister? It's always like, not always, but it's like even in youth, it's like, oh, guys, don't get too close because, men and women got to keep. It's always not like women are your competition, but we treat women in church like it's a big giant apple, or like we're Eve or something. Like it's just a walking temptation versus looking at them like that is a human being. Even in our noble side, like even in the Christian side, I think we like as men, your first. I always say in school, I feel like we teach white supremacy because our first introduction to African Americans are as slaves, and and then we have European history, we have all of white history, but not as much black history. I feel like our first introduction as Christian men into with women is like, don't have sex with her, or it's not treat this person like this is a person. It's like this can be a potential temptation for you if you don't.
So you're saying that the lust comes as a result of not lust, but like the stay away type thing. It comes as a result of not being properly introduced or told how to
we
view.
don't know how to have a sister relationship. So for me, I keep distance, a certain amount of distance from everyone is not my wife. Just in general. But that distance could also be that same, I don't want to say brainwashing, but I mean, I feel like in church we're not taught to have brother and sister relationships. If we see a male and female that are close, we automatically assume, they're dating. Which, I mean, could be true, but it's just the assumption. So we look at women always as this potential pitfall of...
Or sexual partner or partner.
Yeah. It's either, and not as a
That's
person.
Interesting. That's interesting. I think that deserves another. I think that deserves some time.
Y'all yelled at me when I said that before.
Oh, we're gonna yell. I'm just gonna. No.
Yeah.
You said that men and women can't be friends.
There you go. Thank you,
That's
Jason.
the same thing.
That's what you said. No, that's a huge difference.
It's a very nuanced conversation. You just try to make it more black and white. It's a very nuanced conversation.
You took it. Look, it took you a year to think it through.
What you talk about taking it, that's a nuanced conversation. Yeah. But I think it's
that's a good conversation, though. Interesting one.
Okay, it's one that got me yelled at by the two of you. Okay. All right, well, think about it, and we'll come back. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. How can we? I mean, we gotta. Yeah, I think that we gotta we stop our predatorial behavior out here. B+, yo, I got your email, B+, and that is a yes for sure. I gotta hit you back. All right, guys. Anything else before we leave? Any apologies that you guys want to give to me for maybe I brought the topic up and y'all yelled at me? Oh, go ahead, Fred. Go ahead and apologize.
No, not apology, but I would say along with this subject, like I would say for us all, like it's always I try to take these moments to look in the mirror and like not look at not look at it as certain situations like, hey, look at this person, and not to think that you're strong enough that you're not susceptible, even though you're not in this particular situation, but like to move in a way to say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm susceptible to this as well, and move in a way. And so,
that's true. Some people ain't cheated because don't nobody want them. I feel like
good.
I said that before.
That's good, Fred.
Thank you. Not what Fred said. Me.
No one's listening to you.
All right, Pastor J, any closing remarks?
Yeah, guys, make sure that you subscribe, share, and hit that notify button. Don't forget to watch the latest interview
with Jon
by
Guerra.
Mr. Jon Guerra. Super insightful. He's a brilliant guy. Had a lot of good insight on the church culture, music, and some other things. Good stuff. And
I
check
still love Jon.
Cries in the car. So good stuff.
I do. Jon Guerra made me cry in the car several times.
So make sure you guys check it out. Good interview. I actually listened to it while I was doing some work. So it's a good listen. Make sure you do that.
All right. Love you guys. Peace and blessings. Hey. Without any further ado, we are, hold on, out.